So, hey guys, it's your boy, Dark Raku here with What If Issei was the reincarnation of Byakuya Kuchiki? Part 3. So yeah, part 3 of this What If, but yeah. So, yeah, this is part 3 of this What If. Let me begin into this What If, and let me shut the fuck up, because I don't need to do no recap. But yeah, and I don't want to ram on, but yeah. So let me begin. So, we go into Byakuya right now kind of training. Of course, he was training at the night because mostly his room got taken over by two devil girls. None other than, well, the devil of, what's it called? Mostly the clan heiress of the Sefri and the clan heiress of Gremory. So, yeah, that happened, and of course, he just didn't want to be there. Nah, he was like, nah, fam, I'm good. But, yeah. Of course, with that happening, he just trained all night and then didn't really sleep at all. When he even got to his house and went inside his room, two magic circles of trying to trap him into his room appear. This is where, well, the magic circles would work if would work on a normal person, but for Issei, he kind of pulled out his sword called Senban Sakura and say scatter in an instant, shattering the two magic circles. Two people woke up in an instant off, well, mostly out of Issei's bedroom inside Issei. They glare at Issei, but this is where Issei disappeared. Said, bye. He flashed up away from them. This is where, well, they are so angry and annoyed, and how Issei keeps doing this. But yeah, Issei didn't really get any sleep last night, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei didn't really care about sleep, but yeah. Now, we go into Issei kind of being in school with, well, mostly being the protector of his sister, Azia, and of course, Shinkai being the same. Now, of course, where, well, no one really wants to kind of target Azia because of Issei, but there's a lot of daring people, and a lot of people kind of being on the ground, well, being in the ground, 64, no, I'm just kidding, but pretty much they're in the ground all the time because, well, they're getting their ass kicked, but yeah. I don't know why I was saying 64/7. Or, whatever. Yeah, I think I said 24/7. For some reason, I put 60. No, I have no clue. My head it's not there fully. But yeah. But of course, well, Issei is kind of just mostly dealing with people like that. But yeah. Now, of course, well, he's also kind of having to deal with, well, mostly he was walking towards back to his house after kind of going to go get, well, from the convenience store, like a drink and some other drinks for like Azia. But of course, well, he was kind of conveniently kind of meeting up with some people. Now, these people are none other than Iron, or mostly Irina, and her kind of one of her friends being the Zenobia. Now, of course, they actually ask for Issei's help in trying to find the Excaliburs. Issei refused. Literally, when he kind of talked to Irina, he basically calls her Iron, not Irina, and this is where it mostly annoys Irina so much of it. But of course, well, Zenobia, she asked why for Issei not to help them, since they are part of the church. This is where, well, mostly they're just asking. They're not really commanding Issei to do it. Issei kind of says why. First, he doesn't really care about the Excaliburs. It's really pointless. He doesn't care that much. And second, what does this even involve him with? Azia is the only thing that involves with his life and nothing else. That being his little sister. Of course, then he actually cares about his little brother figure being Shinkai. So of course, the Excalibur fragment, whatever bullshit stolen thing, really doesn't affect him. Really, not at all. Not until Ozzy is in danger and he will have to slaughter them, but yeah. So yeah, it's pretty much, he just told them to really leave him alone because it's really pointless to him. This is where, well, mostly Irina complained and even tried to fight Issei to kind of help them, but Issei kind of flashed away from them, but yeah. Now, we go into every night, Issei kind of trains. Now, of course, he doesn't really have much sleep during the whole night. He only has to sleep in the morning in kind of classes when Irina is with, when Shinkai is with Azia in some of those classes. But yeah, Issei kind of falls asleep. But yeah. Now, of course, the reason why he doesn't get much sleep each night is because Rias and mostly Sona appear lots of times trying to sleep with him. But of course, Issei refuses to. He's now thinking of getting his own apartments. Literally just getting his own apartments, but yeah. Now, of course, Azia and Shinkai always kind of sleep together, but yeah. Now, of course, they don't do anything. Nothing like that, but yeah. Because Azia doesn't really have that perverted mindset that much, or kind of like original canon. Because of, she's not really friends with Aika that much, because, well, Issei does always try to push Aika away, and even Shinkai does the same. But yeah. Now, this is where, well, that is happening. Now, this is where even Rias, and when Rias tries to make Azia pervert her mind, mostly Shinkai appears with a water vortex right in front of, well, Rias, telling Rias that he doesn't care if she's a devil and other stuff, and the devil leader of Azia. He doesn't really care in a lot of things, but the one thing that he does care is trying to ruin her purity. This is where, well, Rias scoffs and walks away, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei is trying to think of something. He's like thinking of something else. But yeah, we go into Issei kind of POV. Now, of course, Issei doesn't really sleep much, but he has dealt with some fallen angels. A couple of fallen angels have actually tried to fight him. Now, of course, he doesn't care about these fallen angels because he just says scatter and these fallen angels are now gone from his, well, existing right in front of him. But yeah. Now, of course, this is where, well, Issei does do that most of the time, and this is where, well, Issei, during his couple of nights of just training, he has heard over some of the fallen angels about their leader being, what's it called, Kokubyo, kind of trying to get Excaliburs, and thinking Issei's sword was an Excalibur because of its weird effect to scatter and destroy them instantly. Because the little pink fragments, they kind of look like light fragments, so they think it's kind of an Excalibur kind of holy ability, even though they don't feel the magic from it. But yeah. But of course, that is happening, and mostly a lot of fucking fallen angels chase after him, which they all die. Yeah, they all dead. Yeah, no matter what, none of them ever even gets to land even a feather on Issei. But yeah, this is where, well, Issei keeps training. Of course, he barely had any good sleep, because mostly Rias, Sona are quite fucking annoying. Rias has always tried to make Issei do a lot of, what's it called, mostly contracts, with Sona kind of asking him to play chess, which he doesn't get any sleep in the morning, neither at the night. So it's quite annoying for him. Really quite annoying. He then thinks of two favors that he kind of is still owed by the kind of Demon King. And of course, he's now thinking of fucking using them. Well, using one of them. This is where, oh, he then thinks about it and says, that is true. Yes. This is where Issei has such an evilish grin in his face when he's actually thinking about this. This is where, well, Drake actually appears saying, hey, partner. This is where, well, Issei says, what do you want, Drake? This is where Drake says, that idea that you have in your head, do you think it's really a good idea? Yes, it is. Jesus Christ, I don't even want to be bothered by the damn contracts or stupid ass fucking bullshitness. What about that, well, what's it called? What about that guy named Azel? You tell me he's a fallen angel, yet he's kind of cool and not bothering enough. I'd rather be friends with him. Then again, Rias would probably complain, saying it's bad enough for a fallen angel, blah, 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 blah. Then again, I really deal with like so many fallen angels on a daily basis. And of course, she complains that I should go to sleep instead of like training. She's so damn annoying, not gonna lie. Issei kind of has such a short kind of temper that's actually quite annoying him so much, mostly Rias, but yeah, even Sona. But yeah, just because he's the devil incarnation, they think that they can basically boss him around. But pretty much Issei is getting quite like less of a temper. And of course, Rias has always tried to dirty Azia's mind. Luckily for Issei, he kind of always pushes Rias away. Now, of course, he's being bothered a lot of times. And of course, Shinkai is not really okay in going to the not orphanage, mostly going to the ORC, but, or, yeah, not ORC, the, what's it called? Yeah, the ORC being the Cult Research Hub. Now, of course, this is where, well, he can't really go there because mostly Rias is not allowing him to go there. And of course, can't really protect Azia most of the time, but yeah. But Issei's always there, but he's always so tired. And Shinkai does notice this a lot. Issei has become much more tired and depleted with energy. That mostly Shinkai is kind of worried about, well, his sensei. Of course, Asuya has also noticed this, but Rias hasn't really noticed this because, well, she's been kind of acting like a little brat. And really spoiled little brat. Trying to get Issei to be tired enough so he can actually fall in his bed asleep and so she can snuggle him. Trying to plan that out. She's trying to be really sneaky, but Issei already knows what is happening. But of course, he can't really stop a lot of stuff. Let's do it. Well, one night when he was actually keeps kind of like killing more fallen angels and telling them to fuck off using scatter, he was kind of running low on spiritual pressure. Mostly not spiritual pressure. Rias do a little bit, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly something happens. What's it called? Someone like a fallen angel appears, being that of a 8-winged fallen angel, saying that he will destroy Issei for even daring to kill the other fallen angels and take the Excalibur sword that Issei has. But Issei doesn't have an Excalibur sword. It's literally just a Zanpakuto. Issei gets hit in the kind of chest by a light spear. It was hurting him so much that he thought he was going to die. Right now, what's it called? Drake is telling Issei now to fall unconscious. This is where Issei's eyes are closing so slowly and saying, "No, I can't get it. I can't." This is where Issei's eyes are getting closer and closer to just closing fully. This is where, well, the fallen angel sees that Issei falls down forward. Well, almost falling down forward. This is where the fallen angel says, "Huh? You're not dead? I thought I'd kill you." This is where, well, the fallen angel says, "Hey, are you awake? Or maybe you just fall unconscious, and that's how you died. Whatever, I'll kill you one way or another." He then has a light spear and was about to stab it into Issei, also known as Byakuya, until something kind of appeared. So something actually appeared on Issei's face, like something like white, but actually had like a pink stripe down one of his eyes middles. And this is what you hear in the Issei kind of grabbing the light spear, hurting his hand. It was like burning it, but Issei didn't care. Instead, this is what you hear when Issei looks up. One of his eyes turns from mostly being pinkish gray to kind of being yellow. And this is where, well, he looks up and just screams. Mostly a white hollow mask is appearing right in front of him. One of his eyes, one of them actually pierced into being like the hollow eye. The other one being also kind of being yellow. This is where Issei screams right in front of, mostly kind of screaming, destroying the light spear and kind of grabbing the fallen angel from the neck in an instant. This is where, Issei is right now calculating like a madman. This is where, mostly then he just throws him straight to the tree, throwing the fallen angel straight to a tree, smashing him into a couple of trees. This is where the fallen angel gets up and says, "Who are you? What are you?" This is where, Issei says, "Who am I? What kind of stupid question is that? I am who I am." This is where, mostly the fallen angel right now is getting annoyed with Byakuya. This is where, Issei's sword seems to be a little bit different color, a little bit black. This is where, mostly the fallen angel says, "Whatever you are, it doesn't matter and who exactly you are. You will still die." This is where, Issei says, "Oh, really? Is that so true? Fine. Scatter. Combine. Sword." This is where, mostly sword mode. This is where, the Senbao Sakura scatters, but of course they didn't scatter fully just to fly around, but mostly it went back into the sheath, but didn't actually turn into a blade. It's right now kind of glowing pink. This is where, Issei then says, "Extend, slash." This is where, the sword literally extended. Think of it like from, Scissor 7 kind of, when he extended his sword, his demon dagger, it's like that. This is where he swings it straight to the fallen angel. The fallen angel could not dodge. This is where he's actually cut into two. This is where Issei is laughing like a madman, cackling like a madman. This is where, well, more fallen angels started appearing, but this is where all of them were easily cut down to 1,000,000 pieces. This is where even those tried to send light spirits at Issei. This is where some of the Senbon Sakuras literally turned into little miniature shields, right now blocking the light spirits and easily destroying them, easily corrupting the light spirits and then destroying them. This is where, well, mostly one light spirit tries to hit Issei. It would have hit Issei, but this is where Issei grabbed in an instant, right now snapping the light spirit, right now destroying it. This is where, well, this Issei is laughing like a madman. This is where he's destroying everything around him, killing all the fallen angels like it was nothing. This is where, well, the mostly Issei is laughing and calculating, kind of just chuckling to himself. You people can't you people can't kill me. No, I can't. This is where, well, he then sees a little bright of light smashing into his eye, and this is where he says, ah, damn, that's bright as hell. This is where he makes like a shield in front of him, made out of Senbon Sakuras, having the sword sheath right in front of him. And this is where, well, he says, I hate the sun so much. Wait, he's waking up. No, you can't wake up now. This is where the hollow mask starts breaking off of Issei's face. And of course, it wasn't fully completely like covering up his face. It was barely there, but yeah. It started shattering out of unconsciously. And this is where, well, this hollow version of Issei seems fine. You can take control back over. But one time, if you ever fall, another time unconscious, I'm taking over. Again, remember these words. This is where, well, mostly Issei's body limped over and just fell down to the ground. His sword kind of went back to normal, but yeah. This is where, well, we go into Issei waking up and saying, did I fell asleep on the ground? Actually, I feel much better. Issei getting up and stretching and saying, I feel much better. I don't feel too tired. What even happened? He looks at a bunch of feathers around him, and this is where he thinks he might have accidentally used Bankai. This is where, well, or he might have did something. He can't really remember what happened last night. All he remembers is getting hit. Well, not even getting hit by a light spirit. He doesn't remember at all. Issei sees that he has a wound on the shoulder, mostly like a wound near his kind of, shoulder. And this is where, well, Issei says, was it always there? Huh, I might have got hit by one of the fallen angels. Or, I don't actually remember. What the hell? This is where, well, we go into Issei kind of ignoring whatever just happened. And of course, goes on with his daily life. Of course, going to school and other stuff. But before, like, keep continuing on to kind of go to school and dealing with random bullshit. After school, he mostly told Shinkai and Azia to go home and other stuff. While he went towards getting a magic circle. Yes, he kind of pulls out this red magic circle. It was a little bit darker crimson red than what's it called, Rias' magic circle most of the time. And of course, Issei, right now he was in the forest. He throws it down and waits for the crimson magic circle to appear. A man with dark red hair, of course, these light bluish eyes, lighter than Rias, appears, having armor, mostly armor shoulder plates on his, what's it called, mostly shoulder. And of course, well, he then appears having a kind of, well, mostly red kind of, yeah, you get the point. This is none other than Sursex, okay? I'm not going to detail him enough, but yeah, I suck at detailing people. But this is where, well, Sursex says, huh? Oh, Byakuya, do you need something? Issei said yes. This is where, well, in an instant, quite annoyed also. This is where, well, Sursex says, what do you need? I want you to remove the palm pieces out of my body. Mostly Rias' palm pieces. This is where, right now, Sursex is confused and says, wait, why? She's been nothing but a bother and annoying and bossy. Do you think I really want someone to boss me around and trying to make my sister a pervert and trying to blah, 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 blah? He's just right now rambling on. Straight to Sursex, and Sursex says, okay, I can see that you're really overprotective of your sister. But I don't think I could. Seriously? I asked for 2 favors. I'd rather, like, come on. Like, I don't even care if you can't remove the palm pieces. Like, switch me out or something. Sursex says, I mean, I could switch you out, but then again, do you even mind protecting my sister? No, I mind protecting my own sister. Well, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Um, uh, let's see. Surdex is trying to bargain with Issei and try to stay in Rias' barrage, even if his sister is kind of getting on Issei's like last nerves, or mostly on his last freaking straws, and getting mostly always on his nerves. This is where Surdex says, fine, okay, fine. I can, yeah, I know what to do. Fine. Do you want to go back into being a normal human or just stay as a devil, but without the palm pieces? Issa says, as a normal human. Really? I also want my sister to be a normal human. Ozia? Sure. Yeah, I think I can do that. This is where, well, Surdex says, you would just need to bring Ozia with you to the underworld. Here, I'll give you another magic circle. This time the magic circle is kind of greenish color. Who is this? This is Belzov, or mostly the Belzov who got elected there to become the new Belzov leader. He will help you off with what's it called, removing the pawn pieces, and also Bishop from you and, well, Ozia. Okay, can I also bring someone else? Does he also have pawn pieces? No, but he's basically the lover of my sister, so yeah. And mostly Ozia might get scared. This is where, well, Surdex said, fine, it'll be fine. This is where, well, Surdex teleported in a magic circle. Issei got back home, and this is where Issei knocks at Ozia's room. And this is where, when he kind of opens the door, he kind of sees Ozia and, what's it called, Shinkai already kind of having their first kiss. And this is where Issei said, oh, never mind, sorry about that. This is where both of them right now turn red in an instant. This is where Issei kind of just chuckles at them. This is where Issei kind of asks Ozia and Shinkai to come with him towards his room. This is where, well, mostly they too kind of go to his room, but this is where it's none other than Rias and Sona on his bed waiting. Issei notices and right now grins at Sona and Rias and says, hey, Sona, Rias, wanna hear something funny? This is where, well, Rias says, what are you, this is where Issei says, this, do you know what this is? He points at the paper and it has like a magic circle being green. Both Sona and Rias notice it's actually Bezos kind of magic circle. And right now are confused and saying, how do you get that? This is where Issei says, oh, you see here. I asked for your brother. I asked him one favor. Mostly I use one of my favors against him. Or mostly, yeah, I use one of them for a little kind of help. This is where, well, both of them are kind of now getting nervous in what Issei kind of chose. Issei says, don't worry. Don't worry your little heads. I chose for something very good for me and Ozia here. Don't worry about it. That's where, well, Rias kind of looks at him kind of confusedly and says, Issei? Issei, what did you choose? Oh, nothing. We would just have to get to Ajuka. Yeah, that's his name, right? And I gotta ask him for something. But other than that, see ya. This is where he uses a magic circle underneath both him and what's it called, Ozia and Shinkai. And they literally teleport in the green flash. This is where both Rias and Sona are right now sweat dropping. What did he ask? Right now, Sona, well, not Sona, Rias said in such a stern, cold voice. This is where Sona says, don't know. But if he asks something from Surdex and Surdex decides to give him a magic circle to it for Juka, it might not be something good. It might be something terrible. Maybe like him just becoming a normal human or something. This is where, well, Sona looks at, well, not Sona, mostly Rias looks at Sona and says, what do you mean? Wait, you don't know? When some pawn pieces, you know, when they kind of become either a high-ranking devil, they usually try to remove the old pieces they had from their old previous master and kind of changing it either being a king or just becoming a regular devil citizen. Being one of the high nobles or living like that. Yeah, but Issei isn't a high-class noble. He's at low rank at best. The power that he displays isn't low rank at all. It's near to be what's it called, high or mid rank, but yeah. This is where, well, Rias switch ups and then thinks, what did mostly Issei ask for, what's it called, Surdex? There's not really many options, and yet she's actually thinking of contacting her brother, but might be annoying because her brother is like a kind of sister cone, but yeah. Now, of course, well, Issei gets towards meeting a guy with greenish hair and, of course, having what's it called, Well, mostly a guy with greenish hair and bluish eyes, having kind of whatever Juka wears. I forgot, like a coat and other stuff. And this is where, well, he kind of looks at Issei, Azia, and Shinkai, and then asks why they're here. This is where Issei, mostly said that Sir Six kind of gave him a favor, and he asked for it, and that favor is none other to remove the evil pieces from them to become just back a normal human. This is where, well, Juka was surprised, and he did call upon Sir Zex to confirm this, which was confirmed. But yeah, that was confirmed, and this is where, well, mostly, well, Juka sighs and says, this might be a painful process for you, Issei, since you have 8 pawn pieces. With Azia, it won't be too painful because she only has 1 bishop. Okay, I'll be fine. This is where, when, Azia's mostly bishop piece was removed, something happened to her. Something surprising for Issei and Shinkai. She kind of died, but really didn't die. Mostly, she was kind of given power that was similar towards Issei's, being that spiritual Ryasu, or mostly, yeah, Ryasu. Right now, she has a different clothing entirely. She has kind of wearing this like black clothing that's similar to Rukia, like Rukia and Bleach, and of course, well, she does have still her goldenish hair and bluish eyes, but she has a zanpakuto next to her, mostly near her kind of waist. This is where I was gonna say, what just happened? This is where Juka say, what did that just happen? Issei says, Ajuka, can you please remove my pawn pieces now? This is where Ajuka said, sure. He looks at Azia really confusedly. This is where Shinkai widened his eyes. He never expected right now Azia to actually kind of become a Shinigami. This is where, well, Juka removes all 8 pawn pieces from Issei's body. It took a little bit longer, like 2 hours, but of course he managed to remove them all. And this is where Issei falls down to the ground. But this is where Issei's body started changing. Mostly his clothing actually changed in an instant. Became that of a black kind of robe, well, mostly like, yeah, kimono underneath, mostly like a black kind of coat. Having a white coat over it. Mostly he's having a white coat over his kind of clothing. And it has, well, mostly in the symbol, in the back, it kind of sends, well, not sense. Mostly in the back, it has a symbol that says, what's it called? Mostly it shows to become the 6th Division captain. That's where, well, Issei then gets his memories trained much better. Like, he kind of becomes, well, much more memorized in a bunch of memories. And this is where Issei remembers now that he's kind of is the 6th, well, mostly, the squad, mostly Squad 6, one of the divisions of the 13 kind of Gote, but yeah, this is where Issei, he remembers everything. This is where, well, he feels like his reality itself has become much more powerful and much more denser than normal. Mostly removing the pawn pieces itself made him just became an actually full-fledged Shinigami now. Well, he's still human, but he is kind of now full-fledged Shinigami. This is where, well, right now, Juka feels his power and right now erupting from Issei's body, and this is where Issei tries to compress it. This is where he compresses it a little bit more, but yeah, a little bit more than just normal that he has to try a little bit more. Issei says, interesting. I see. Well, that's good to know. This is where Juka says, now explain what exactly just happened to you and Azia and maybe that kid over there. This is where, well, Issei explains that he is no longer a devil. He's still human, but he's now Shinigami. And this is where, well, Juka kind of gets interesting in the word Shinigami, because that just means, like, Soul Reaper. And what's it called in English terms? Well, yeah, English terms, Soul Reaper. Issei explains about the Soul Reapers. They are people that will have to, like, bring the souls to the Soul Society. He just basically explains a short version of what a Soul Reaper basically does. It kind of kills hollows, those beings that are actually kind of souls, but they're hollow now. And of course, much more evil and trying to eat other human souls. But yeah, there's the word. Well, mostly Juka then asks if he's mostly Issei's a helper towards Hades, since Hades is the underworld kind of leader for, well, mostly the souls, human souls. Issei explains that he's not. It's mostly a different kind of place for souls to go into, like a soul society. This is where Juka understands and nods and says, well, that's good to know. This is where, well, Juka then asks Issei if he can take a pawn piece inside his body. which when Ajuka tries to give one of the dummy palm pieces that he has, he just throws it at Issei to see if it will fuse with Issei's soul. He doesn't mind taking it back out. But something appears, mostly when the kind of palm piece actually went inside Issei's body. It instead changes in an instant. Right now, thanks to the spiritual reality that Issei's body is kind of letting out, kind of slowly around his body much easier. And of course, this sword kind of also, that's kind of floating up and shattering. This is where it catches a palm piece before even landing in Issei's body. And right now changes it in an instant. Now, of course, this normal mostly palm piece, which is a normal palm piece. There was really nothing special to it. Well, it was actually a tested palm piece, which, Ajuka kind of just grabbed because it really didn't have anything special to it. Well, just one little function to it, but Ajuka never thought it will activate. Actually, there's actually always a possibility for palm pieces to activate this, but he never did he did put the function, but he really never expected anyone to manage to activate this. This is where the palm piece itself, right now, kind of transforms. This is where you can see little glimpses of it kind of transforming. It turns into a palm piece, of course, it's still a normal palm piece. Then it turns into a rook, then a knight, then a bishop, then a queen, and then finally it transformed into a king fully. This is where, Issei was confused. He's holding it in his palm and right now looking at it really confusedly. This is where Ajuka says, wait, no, that's impossible. This is where he kind of walks up to Issei and right now looks at the king piece that Issei has. It's not glowing any sinister kind of energy from being a devil piece or an evil piece or anything. It's literally Issei's own piece now. He is now a king piece, which he's no longer a devil, but it feels to be energy of a Shinigami, which Issei can see it. Literally his own reality literally changed in an instant. I should also mention that the palm piece didn't really have any red energy to it. It wasn't color red, it was kind of just color kind of blankly white, which now itself is kind of glowing a whitish color. It's not holy or anything, it's just glowing a whitish color. It's basically Byakuya's own kind of king piece, which Issei kind of decides to absorb it because it's kind of his own power mixed into a king piece. But yeah, why that has a con piece? I don't know. Mostly king piece, and of course, mostly Ajuka sees this, and when Issei absorbs it, Issei becomes more powerful. But his reality itself, instead of just floating off his body, decides to become much more calmer and flowing around instead of just kind of being let out entirely. It's like suppressing his reality. That's where Issei is kind of surprised and shocked to believe this. Issei says, I see. I'm much more powerful. But of course my reality, I don't really need to suppress it forcibly or manually. Instead, the king piece seems to be doing it for it itself. This is where Ajuka nods and says, that's quite interesting. Well, Issei, you wouldn't mind coming towards my place multiple times here in the scientist lab. I just need to make studies and making sure that the piece doesn't become corrupt or any of that. And I also want to know more about the whole, Soul Reapers. Issei doesn't really mind doing it, but he has to bring his sister and Shinkai along, which Ajuka doesn't object to any of that. He doesn't really mind. He also wants to see Asia's abilities and Shinkai's also abilities. Now, Issei does explain his own ability, mostly his Shikai, not his Bankai, just yet. This is where, he explains that Shikai is basically, mostly a half version of release of its true sword, mostly full release, because full release is the second stage, but first release is just a half stage, and it's just called Shatter, which he can shatter it and of course make these like blossom petals appearing. They're mostly 1,000 blades, but yeah, or mostly 1,000 blade kind of fragments, but yeah, floating up, but yeah, kind of making the light kind of shine upon them to making them look like it's actually a sakura petal, but pretty much it's just a bunch of like shatter blades. This is where, or just shatter, kind of like shards of blades, but yeah. This is where, mostly Ajuka nodded and says, that's quite interesting. Well, good to know. This is where, Ajuka then thought of doing this. He then asked Issei if another pawn piece, like a normal evil piece, a pawn piece, can actually go into Issei's body. He tosses it towards Issei, and when Issei tries to put it in his body, the king piece, mostly that he has in his body, ejected the evil piece so far, like it just rejected it so far, and just send it straight towards mostly the wall, and right now it's kind of indented into the wall. This is where Ajuka says, yeah, okay, you can never transform into a devil again, never mind. Issei says, wait, I can't? Nope, that evil piece was one of my powerful own evil pieces. But I really don't go into rating games that much, so that was just there. I would have gave you a queen piece, but mostly those pawn pieces are strong enough to be a normal queen piece of a normal devil power. But yeah. So you're never ever going to be able to transform into a devil again. Issei says, yes! No more Rias! No more annoyment! No more tireless, sleepless nights! I also want a magic... Well, he then asked Ajuka, I also want a magic circle to repel devils away from my room. I haven't slept for a good 2 weeks without her and Sona literally being in my room. That's where Ajuka can see Issei kind of pain. So of course he decides to kind of go get something from his drawer and did kind of make this. This is where Issei says, why do you have this? There's like 4 papers of like this repellent devil magic, well mostly magic circle double papers that repels devils away. Mostly it feels way too uncomfortable for them being inside. Also, it kind of makes a barrier for any devils who are trying to get in, they get pushed back out. That's the work well, and if they try to use magic circle to get inside, it literally destroys the magic circle and kicks them back out or whatever. But yeah, that's the work well. Ajuka says, okay, you see here, kid, I also do not want to have that problem, so that's why I made them. This is where Issei switch up and says, I see. So you don't really care about that whole harem bullshit. Nope. Okay, we're in the same boat here. This is where, well, Ajuka nodded. This is where, well, Shinkai and Elsie are just sweat shopping. Issei says, I also want some for, what's it called, my sister's bedroom, and also my dad's bedroom, mom's bedroom, mostly for my whole house. Just put them around, like, the 4 sides of your house, and basically it makes a barrier so no devil can ever get into your house at all. Also, that also works for magic spells. When it hits your house, it just repels and throws it somewhere else. I see. Yeah. It's always active, okay? I made this mostly being active every day. And since the sun is over there, it just power by the sun, okay? I made it for power by the sun, okay? Does it work well? Issei says, I see. Well, that's good to know. This is where mostly what's it called? Ajuka says, true, that's why. That's why I made it, but yeah. So good luck with those problems, but yeah. This is where someone walks through a double door. And this is where it was none other than a female with kind of long bluish hair. And of course, this is where, well. But of course, this is where someone walks through a long hair beauty with long, beautiful blue hair. Of course, these like blue eyes, but they're slick to be similar to that of a dragon. This is where, well, she does have a long blue dress, and of course her chest is pretty big, being that the size of near of Yakuza-san from what being one of the 9 tails, or the 9 tails from what's it called, the Kyoko? Yeah, Kyoko kind of over there at that town, but yeah. That's where, well, who's a yokai? And this is where, well, she kind of looks at what's it called, Ajuka, and says, Ajuka, I've done all the paperwork and other stuff. Can I not go back to my cave? This is where, well, she noticed what's it called, something interesting in Issei's body. This is where she growls, and of course, this is where I started freezing on the ground. This is where she says, Drake. This is where, right now, Drake says, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Byakuya? This is where Issei said, yeah, what do you want? Run. What? This is where, well, this person says, Drake! This is where she sends an ice block straight towards Issei, and Issei won his eyes. This is where Issei says, what's it called? He pulls out his sword and says, scatter! Shield style. This is where, well, he doesn't know why, but he made a shield with his Senbon Sakura sword blades. This is where, well, it literally just appeared on his mind for some reason. This is where, well, he says, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? This is where, well, Issei literally says that because he was actually quite annoying because, well, she was about to hit what's it called, Azia and Shinkai, but Shinkai made an what's it called, water barrier with his sword protecting Azia. And this is where, well, Ajuka says, Timex, stop it! Stop this now! This is where Ajuka screams out mostly the female's name. Timex says, Ajuka, why is Drake Here. Drake? Oh yeah, the Red Dragon Emperor. Fuck, I forgot Issei. He's supposed to be the Red Dragon Emperor. This is where Issei says, I don't know who the hell you're going on about, bitch, but my name isn't Drake. That's literally the boosted gear I have. But whatever. Whatever you want, I will have to defeat you. This is where, well, she screams out, Drake, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to make sure that you're dead. I'm going to, before she even keeps continuing on, Issei says, scatter again. This is where, well, the sword scatters, but this time it just flown around, what's it called, Timex? But Timex didn't care. She makes an ice barrier around her, but mostly the Senbon Sakura's actually become much more powerful thanks to the Riasu and also the power that Issei is flowing throughout his body, mostly thanks to the King Piece, and it just slices through the ice barrier and easily cutting her. This is where she falls down to the ground. She coughed up a little bit of blood, and this is where Issei says, whoa, I didn't know that happened. This is where the Senbon Sakura's, I should mention the Sakura's itself, glowed a little bit much brighter pinkish color than normal. This is where Issei kind of brings back the Senbon blade back into his sword and transforms back into a blade. This is where Issei asks Kajuka if she's okay, which he's not going to go check on her because she's crazy as fuck. This is where Issei then kind of salutes towards the Kajuka and says good luck with her, but I should also mention that I don't really have any more magic circles to summon you or even Sir Zax because I can't use magic. This is where, well, Kajuka gave him some papers just in case he ever wants to come here, but yeah, without Timex being here, but yeah. This is where Issei nodded, and this is where he kind of teleported back home, but yeah. Thanks to Kajuka teleporting them back. This is where, well, mostly Shinkai was sighing in relief and kind of asking Ozzy if she's fine. Ozzy is very blushingly red when she's in with the call Shinkai's chest, but yeah, she then nodded and says she's fine. This is where Shinkai smiles at her and says, good to know that. This is where, well, mostly was a call. That is happening, and this is where, well, he says, what the fuck was that? Drake, you have lots to explaining. Drake explains towards Issei about Timex. She is one of the kind of, well, not evil dragons, she's one of the dragon kings, and of course, where, well, she's quite powerful. You can see that she uses ice, and she would have frozen you in an instant, but luckily for your ability and your Soul Reaper powers, that happened. So yeah, she's trying to kill every time any host that I have because of a little battle me and Albion had that causes some of her gems. And of course, I did promise her after the battle with Albion that I would make her have a kid. Issei said, what the fuck? And you never did that? Hey. Well, yeah. And every host that I had has always kind of flirted towards her, or mostly kind of insults her because she's crazy half the time, which made her pretty angry and just killed them most of the time. What the fuck? Also, I should mention one thing. Thanks to you defeating her by using your Senbon Sakura instead of running away, she might be into you. Huh? Issei kind of said, huh? The fuck you mean into me? No, I can't have a crazy fucking dragon anywhere near my sister. Well, you defeated her, and when a male dragon defeats a female dragon, or any species manage to defeat a female dragon, or just a dragon itself, those dragons bow down towards a person that they managed to get defeated by pretty easily. So, you're going to have a dragon wife, whether you like it or not. Issei says, how about I somehow manage to free you from that stupid gauntlet and make you do it instead of me? This is where Drake says, I had my chance, dude. I had my chance. I can't do it. You're the one that defeated her. No. We're not doing this bullshit. No. Issei said with such a short temper that is about to explode. And this is where, well, Drake says, too bad. This is where Issei appears back into his room, which he doesn't see Sona or Rias, but of course he then kind of runs outside, right now putting papers around his house, and of course where, well, he then is finished kind of putting the papers and makes a magic circle. It's like a greenish magic circle that no one can really see, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei says, now, Sona and Rias can't get into my house. Kiki. This is where, well, Issei is laughing a little bit like evilly. And this is where Sona and Rias appear behind Issei and says, Issei, what do you mean us can't get inside? Issei switches up and says, well, you see here, Rias, I want to tell you something. Yeah? Wait, where's that Oh shit, I left it back at Hajuka. Wait, I need to go do something. This is where Issei kind of goes inside his house and closes it and says, I should also mention, you cannot get inside my house. No more. Anymore. I am not. No, you are never getting inside my house or my room. Bye. This is where Issei closes the door. This is where Sona and Rias switch up, but before they went to touch the door, they right now get pushed back. This is where, well, they felt like their energy literally getting pushed back and even their whole body. This is where they wind their eyes and kind of looks at each other with narrow eyes, thinking that Issei might have done something to his house. This is where Rias says, I'm going to really punish him for being a jerk. This is where, Issei gets into his, room. He puts down a magic circle, one of those green ones, and kind of teleports back. This is where it's a waste of magic circle, but he needs that fucking box. And giving it to Rias, the palm pieces and the bishop for, from him, and Azia towards Rias. But yeah. This is where, he gets it from the box. He mostly gets a box in the, scientist room, and says, okay, time to go back. This is where, someone right now almost freezes him. This is where he says, oh, you fucking serious, not this fucking bitch again. This is where, he sees, Timex being healed, kind of being healed by a devil trying to heal her, and this is where Juka says, Byakuya, you're back. This is where, the ice dragon named Timex says, so that's what his name is, isn't he? So, your name is Byakuya, and I'm guessing you're the host of Drake, or one of the new hosts. Issei says, I have no clue what you're talking about. Drake? I don't know who Drake is. Just where Drake just smacks his head in the fucking mindscape and says, motherfucker's trying to play it off. This is where Issei says, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have anyone named Drake. That sounds pretty too gay, so yeah, I'm gonna just go home. We forget about this. I'm sorry for hurting you, but yeah. This is where, Timex says, sorry, but I can't let my new husband get away from me. Issei says, huh? Hell no, we're not dating at all. This is where Issei says, Ajuka, help. This is where Ajuka says, no, you're the one to defeat her, so I can't really help. But aren't you to a thing or something? This is where Ajuka says, no, she was just helping me with paperwork because I was too damn tired to do it. And she owed me a favor for it, too. So yeah. This is where, Issei says, yeah, we are not a thing, so see ya. This is where Issei, he kind of makes a magic circle and disappears. This is where, right now, she tries to grab him, but of course she wasn't fast enough. Because, yeah, he teleported out of there. He got the box, the wooden box, and decides to go outside. Sees right now Sona and, Sona's Parage and Rias Parage trying to get inside. This is where, Rias says, what is happening, Issei, and why can't we get inside? This is where the door is open, and of course Kiba walks in, but this is where he gets blasted away in confusement. This is where Issei said, ooh, sorry about that, Kiba. Since you're a double, you can't really get inside a human house. Kiba says, what? This is where Issei says, but that's not the point. I have this wooden box for you, Rias. Don't worry. You should open it. This is where, you should open it. And I also have this message, paper, and other things for you to read. Rias says, okay. Fine. This is where she opens the box, and this is where her eyes literally widen into dinner plates. This is where everyone who kind of looks inside the box also widen their eyes. Right now, Kiba says, but how you not dead? This is where, Issei says, don't worry, I asked Ajuka for help. So yeah, Ajuka managed to get rid of the palm pieces, and also the bishop piece from Azia, so you will never be able to dirty her mind ever again. Her pure, innocent mind should not be dirtied by, you, Rias. But that's not the point. Now, of course, I am no longer a pawn piece ever again. I also can never transform into a devil. Ajuka has actually confirmed that. Mostly thanks to his experiment kind of pawn piece that he gave me and transformed into a king. And I'm not going to explain into details and why I transformed into a king, but don't worry about that. I am not a devil. I am a human with something else, but that ain't nothing for you to figure out. But not the point. I would never be able to be transformed to a devil again. Never again. Life feels so free without being restricted by a devil. Which, like you, most of the time. This is where he kind of looks at Rias when there are eyes, and this is where Rias looks at him with such anger and just angry and rage into her eyes. This is where some tears start falling. Right now, with so much anger kind of towards Issei. Issei says, blah, 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 blah. Stop crying, Rias. Don't worry, Rias. You will find your lover one day that is not me, and soon that will go for you too. But yeah, good luck with that. How about you work on your personality most of the time? But hey, whatever. This is where, well, Rias and Sona looks at him with narrow eyes. This is where, well, Sona is trying to comfort Rias. And this is where everyone looks at him like he's fucking crazy. This is where, well, Issei said, but other than that, Rias, I am no longer a pawn piece. I no longer need to be sleep deprived every day and having to protect my sister. And having to mostly train somewhere far away and kind of, well, mostly can't sleep in my bed and mostly have to sleep on a tree or something. Thank God. I feel so much great. Feel so much better. That weight is off my shoulder now. This is where, well, he pats his shoulder and says, good job, B. Well, other than that, go ask your brother for help. And bye. This is where, well, Issei said, I'm going back to sleep. Bye. This is where Issei closes the door, and this is where Rias start bursting into tears. And this is where she falls down to the ground. Akuno and Kaneko never thought Issei would do something like this. But then again, Issei did change. Kaneko thought of it for the best, but now she's kind of regretting it because she's just seen her master literally cry with tears falling off her eyes. And right now, Kaneko is, well, not Kaneko, Akuno is sad because Issei isn't really the perverted boy that she used to know and love. He's now much more mature, much more easily able to get angry and annoyed, has a very short fuse, and will result in violence if people dare annoy him so much. But yeah, this is where, well, Kiba, he then thinks a bit it's for the best because Excaliburs won't affect Issei. But then again, it never did affect Issei in the first place because Issei literally can shatter them with his sword. But then he felt Issei's power did become much stronger. So it could be for the best, it could be for the worst, who knows. And this is where Issei said, I forgot to mention, I am still alliance with the devils, so don't worry about that, Rias. Don't worry, I'm still alliance with the devils. I would never hurt a devil in this whole town. Never again, I won't do that. But instead, I am not in your barrage, so no more contracts, no more nothing. I'm free! This is where Issei said with such a happy tone in his voice. And of course, right, he goes to sleep because he's right now all dressed up. He's no longer in his coat, well, mostly captain uniform, because they dare see him with the captain uniform. But this is where, well, he's now in sleeping pajamas. So yeah. So Issei is basically wearing this for sleeping pajamas, but yeah, he says, well, I should also mention he does have a hat on him, like, you know, a sleeping hat, pajama, or whatever. It's kind of like a Christmas elf kind of hat, but yeah, or mostly like a Santa hat or whatever. But of course, he also has a sleeping mask on top of his forehead and says, well, other than that, Rias, good night. I'm going to sleep for the entire day and night, and then waking up with so much energy and power for tomorrow. Don't you think that would be so great? Well, bye, Rias, and everyone else. See ya. This is where Issei closes the door, without a care in the world, and walks up to his room and just falls asleep. He now has such a cheerful personality. He's free. He feels so much better. He feels much more powerful, but he still feels much better. He falls asleep. It was kind of 7 in the afternoon, and Issei woke up at 7 in the morning the next day. He's kind of saying, oh, what time is it? Maybe I should just ditch today because Ria's going to be extremely mad at me. Who really cares about what Rias thinks about? Then again, I'm no longer in part of a barrage, so I'll be happy. This is where it will. Drake says, you have so many angry females on you. You know that? What do you mean, Drake? You have Timex, who literally you just rejected in an instant. You have Rias, that Gremory, well, double, that you rejected with such, how should I say, just like, what the fuck? What is the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, shut the fuck up for a second. You also rejected Sona Sifri, and then you really, what is your type exactly, Byakuya? I'm actually guessing. This is where, well, Byakuya thinks about it. He says, I want a nice, kind person. That doesn't order me around. That's also really nice to Azia and doesn't dirty her innocent mind with perverted thoughts. Who's also really kind to Shinkai. And doesn't also dirty his mind with thoughts. Who is nice and gentle with my human family. And, Just a lot of things. Okay. Does she also have to be powerful? Oh yeah, definitely. I can't really protect her most of the time, so yeah, definitely. This is where, well, Drake says, I see. Well, I don't know if you can ever find someone like that. Well, I know I won't be able to find someone like that, so I can just stay single forever. Damn. What the fuck? You're never gonna lose your first kiss, you're never gonna lose your V card? What the fuck? He says, I'm fine like that. I can easily destroy devils and other things like that. Well, mostly anything that dares to harm my family. So I'm fine. Drake says, Issei, you need someone, okay? You definitely need someone. You can't just be by yourself all the time. Too fucking bad. This is where, well, Issei said, well, other than that, let's go to school. This is where Issei gets ready. He's already kind of like wearing his clothing. And this is where, well, he then knocks at Ozzy and mostly Shinkai's room because pretty much he just calls it together. And this is where when he opens the door, he can see Ozzy and Shinkai are just hugging each other. And of course being really fucking adorable. This is where Issei pulls out a camera out of nowhere and click. This is where, well, he takes a picture. And this is where, well, mostly was a call. Well, Issei did have the room kind of open a little bit, and this is where behind him appears his mother, and this is where his mother's like, oh, they're so cute. This is where, well, she's squealing a little bit, and this is where she pulls out all her own camera and starts taking the picture. This is where, well, when both of them start opening their eyes, because mostly Shinkai had his arm around what's it called, mostly Azia, and Azia was kind of having her hands around Shinkai's arm. This is where, well, mostly what's it called? They opened their eyes, and of course, they were facing the kind of door. And when they both open their eyes and look up and see Byakuya and Mika, and even Goro, where Goro was still downstairs, this is where both of them turns into a shade of red, getting like the blankets and pulling them over their faces. This is where, well, they get so like embarrassed, getting catched by mostly Byakuya and what's it called, Mika, kind of literally taking pictures of them. This is where, well, they kind of decide to close the door and chuckling. And this is where, well, Issei kind of gets downstairs and eat. And this is where, when both, when Azia and Shinkai gets downstairs, they're kind of red and nervous with each other. But yeah, this is where, well, Mika says, so, how's your nap? Well, what's it called, Azia-chan? This is where Azia, embarrassed, says, good. It was really good. This is where, well, she kind of smiles very gently and very blushingly and other things. And this is where, well, mostly Byakuya says, so Shinkai, how was your, it was really fun. I mean, not really fun. I mean, this is where Shinkai's just stuttering. This is where, well, everyone's kind of chuckling at him. And this is where, well, he's just embarrassed and red. This is where, well, they're eating just toasted bread. And this is where mostly drinking juice. But yeah, they get to school. This is where Issei says, well, it's time to go to school. Well, I should leave you two to walk, right? Because I want to get there first. This is where, well, Byakuya has such an evilish grin for his face. And this is where both of them are kind of sword dropping. And this is where Issei says, well then that's see ya. This is where Issei flashed up in an instant, but yeah. Also, Asa did manage to get out of her kind of soul reaper form, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei gets to the kind of school and smiling. He walks in, and of course, this is where the conversation is around Issei. Rumors has already spread that Issei kind of made Rias cry. And this is where, well, people can't think of hating on him. Most of the girls think of hating on him a little bit, but then the guys thinking of hating on him more. This is where multiple guys try to pick a fight with him easily. Issei, I don't know why I say Issei. Issei kind of looks at them and kind of says, be gone from my sight. Issei already knocked him out in an instant, a flash. This is where, well, multiple people have spread rumors like wildfire that Issei became much more powerful. This is where, well, people are now calling him the Dark Blossom of Kuo. Because he is, well, he's like a dark knight to protect Azia and even Shinkai. And also he is pretty damn powerful, so yeah. But other than that, I'm going to leave it off here for part 3 of this what if. But yeah, other than that, have a nice day, night, whatever. And other than that, bye. But yeah.